G'day, we're Hayley and Brad.
And this is our Australia trip.
I will never forget yesterday. It was the most magical day ever.
Round 2, our favourite snorkeling spot on the Ningaloo. Let's go. Okay, the time has come. We're going swimming with the whale sharks. Maybe because the current wind speed is actually not too bad, 26 kilometers an hour. But this morning when we woke up, it was 40 kilometers an hour. So,
and the whole time we've been on the Ningaloo for like the last 2 weeks, this has been the worst wind day. And even like the forecast for the week ahead, this day is the worst day.
And I can't help but think that I jinxed us on our last boat trip out to Blythe Island in Port Lincoln. I said we are absolutely blessed always with the weather when we go out on these boat trips. But then it made me realise that we're not actually blessed. We just pick the good days. And with this one, the way that it goes with...
look at months in advance.
Yeah, so we just had to roll with the punches and take what we got, but hopefully it'll be a good day. We're ready and willing. Let's go.
Once we were on the big boat, it was go, go, go. The crew got us suited up and in the water for a test swim, and then they gave us a briefing on how to swim with whale sharks. They sent spotter planes up to search for sharks from above, and while we waited, we did plenty of whale watching from the boat below.
Wow. Oh, he's beautiful.
A few hours passed and we started to get really worried. The planes had found no whale sharks, and they actually called another plane in to help them with their search.
No whale sharks yet, so we're going for a snorkel.
While we were in the water, the sirens started blasting from the boat. We raced back as fast as we could, hoping for the best, and sure enough, they'd found a whale shark. No more than 10 minutes later, we were suited back up, sitting on the back of the boat and ready to dive in. Excitement levels were absolutely through the roof.
So after a massive day yesterday, we got back to the van and we were completely and utterly buggered. It was a huge day, but one that we will struggle to forget for the rest of our lives.
I will never forget yesterday. It was the most magical day ever for me.
Yeah, we were really lucky too, because there's 12 boats that run out of Exmouth, and 8 of those cancelled yesterday. So there was only 4 boats out there, which was really good for us. We got 5 swims with a whale shark. It was incredible.
Yeah, we got 4 drops into the water, and like by the 2nd or 3rd drop, they'd already said to Brad and I that we could go in with both groups. So they split your boat into 2 groups. So one's in the water while one's waiting, and they let us go in both groups. So we had like double swims for half of our drops in. So we finished yesterday feeling like we'd had so much time swimming with the whale shark, and we wouldn't have got that hay if it was like a normal day with the 12 boats out there.
Absolutely.
Because what I didn't realise, and this is a bit of like logistical info for you guys if you're keen to do it, is that even though we're in whale shark season at the moment, because it's July, it ends at the end of July. But yeah, they start dropping off in June, and so yesterday and the last few days they've only had 1 whale shark out there that all the boats have swum with. So it means that like, yeah, with 12 boats out there and everyone's swimming with 1 whale shark, like, yeah, that would be a big queue, hey, to swim with it. But we only had to have 4 boats yesterday, so it was really good. And we were lucky in another sense that we had a really cooperative whale shark, which it just surfaced like at 12:30, and it just like cruised on the surface, like was barely even swimming. It was that slow. It was just cruising, so it'll give us a really good time to swim around it and have like the most special experience. And even like the crew were prepping us beforehand, like all morning, like when we see the whale shark, like we need to hope that it stays on the surface because it might dive down, and once they dive down, like it's gone. And even when we found, like when they found that whale shark and we're heading towards it, one of the deckhand was on there, and I could hear him at the crew. He's like, yeah, it's still on the surface. And then one of the crew's like, is it still on the surface? And he's like, yeah, it's still on the surface, like before we even went in. So obviously they were thinking like, is this going to be a good one, and that too. Exmouth Dive and Whale Shark Ningaloo, they were the company that we went with. They don't allow kids on the boat, so that is good if you don't have kids. Age, so it's like there's like a mature age group, and everyone's like sort of like pretty good swimmers and stuff like that. So it makes the day run really nicely. Yeah, it was such a well-oiled machine. Hey, like, you know, even with, because they have to give you so much information, but they really broke it down and gave it to us in little sections throughout the day. So we felt really confident by the time we were in the water with the whale shark. And make no mistake, it was 40-kilometre-hour winds with 2-metre swells out there. So it was pretty like wild conditions swimming out in the open water like that. But these guys were completely professionals in the way that they... I guess that's another way that we got lucky, because a lot of the people on our boat, like a lot of the customers, ended up not really wanting to swim, and they were dropping out really quickly because the swell was so big. And they were exhausted, so it meant that we could have that extra time in there because we were fine with swimming. So it's good and bad. If you're a bad swimmer, it's bad, but if you're a good swimmer, but hey, what do you expect? If you're booking a tour out in the open ocean, and you can't pick your days with these whale shark tours, you sort of just have to book it in advance, well in advance, and just hope for the best. So we were lucky yesterday with the weather, because it was blue sky and just the sun was shining all day. But as you can see now, the weather is starting to roll in, and that's the whole reason why we've come out to this Dunes Beach this morning, to make the most of the good weather. This is the best part of the day we're going to get before the wind picks up, and I think there's some rain coming too. So we thought we'd get out and about this morning. I think we're getting used to our days being dictated by the wind and which direction it's coming from and when it picks up. So the whale sharks were top notch. And we're really lucky to have had that experience yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed watching it back, and maybe even motivating you to come out here to the Ningaloo Reef and see these beasts in action. Alright. Epic experience. Yeah, anyway, we might sign off for the day, because I don't think we'll get up to much else. See ya. Alright, we're just peeling out of the RAC park where we've been stationed up for quite a few days. The weather's just starting to come good now. It's pretty windy today, but we are off to a campground with your Nan Pop. Yes, I'm so excited. My Nan and Pop were like huge inspirations for us traveling Australia. They've always traveled Australia for as long as I can remember, and they've made the trip over to WA. They're meeting up with us, and I've always wanted to camp with them, so I'm so excited. We're finally going to camp together for a few nights at Osprey Bay in the Cape Range National Park. So that's where we're heading today.
Looking for someone to raise the bar. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone. Been waiting for a lifetime. The end of the road, the lights go. My time is up when dark falls. The end of the road, the lights go. I'm looking for someone to raise the bar. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone, looking for someone. Looking for someone.
Well, it has been an awesome few days hanging out with my Nan and Pop, finally getting to camp together here at Osprey in Exmouth. We said goodbye to them this morning as they continue heading south and we stay here. We're actually still staying at Osprey, but we're moving sites for another 3 nights over into the other section
About 100 metres that way.
over there. So that's what we're doing this morning, and then
We're a bit snorkeled out because we've been escaping the wind by going snorkeling, and that's like the only activity we do all day. But I had a good idea this morning. We're going to take the paddleboard down to Yardie Creek, which is about 10 k's away, and paddleboard up through Yardie Creek, because I imagine in a big gorge like Yardie Creek there'll be some protection in there. So we'll go and do something different today and try and spot some wildlife in the Cape Range National Park. Yeah, I'll tell you where we're going. Let's get the paddleboard off the roof, but I'll show you where we're going. Just down that creek there. So this is Yardie Creek. There is the crossing that we went over in the last episode, and right out there is the Ningaloo Reef. How good's this joint? You're only allowed to walk about 1 kilometre along the creek here, and then you're not allowed any further up into the national park there, because it's home to a threatened species, the black flanked wallaby, and they try and minimise like disturbance in here as much as possible, so much so that they've gone to the trouble to put on the sign that if there's more than 6 paddleboarders or kayakers here, delay your trip into the creek to minimise the disturbance. So this should be quite a nice little paddle.
bolt? Oh no, they're going.
They probably haven't taken traction control off and stopped in its tracks. Let's go and see what it's all
Let's
about.
go.
Eh?
We gotta stay quiet.
Navigating now. So we made it to the end of Yardie Creek, and that was a 20-minute paddle from putting the paddleboard in and about 1.1 kilometers. But a very pretty paddle up the creek here throughout the gorge. And if you've got a paddleboard or a kayak, worthy of coming down here on a high wind day, because in a lot of the patches there's not a lot of wind here. So water's a nice temperature too, to cool off. Although you're not allowed to swim. Yeah, you can paddle back. Yeah, you're not allowed to swim, but you can surely we can put our feet in. How's the water, Dale?
Yeah, it's nice and fresh.
Are you captaining us on the way back?
Yeah, you didn't do a good enough job.
After a very peaceful and relaxing paddle exploring Yardie Creek, we strapped the paddleboard back to the roof of the Land Cruiser and headed back to camp to watch the sunset turn into another beautiful starry night. We had no idea what was in store for tomorrow and that it would turn out to be one of our most epic days diving on the Ningaloo. So we've been at the Osprey campground for about 3 days now, and every day the wind's been really strong, which has killed me, because out there about 1 kilometre off the beach is a kayak snorkeling trail, and we don't have a kayak but we have a paddleboard, and they've actually got mooring buoys out there where you can tie your paddleboard up and go diving into the reef. So the wind's really just chilled out right now, so I think now's our opportunity to go out there and not get washed all the way out to Madagascar.
When you say chilled out, it's not really, but I think it's the best we're gonna get.
So we're gonna go out there and try go for a dive on this snorkeling trail. What a great investment the paddleboard's been, eh?
Yeah.
Allow us to go and do little things like this. It's just a great alternative to having a tinny. Just need a little bit of manpower.
Those guns.
We're not lacking in manpower, are we, Dave?
No.
Look how the wind is like at its lowest it's been in like 3 or 4 days. So any time is the time. Now it is.
Today. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I just saw it. I might have got that on the GoPro. Well, the whales out there are so close to us. Like, we've got maybe 150 meters worth of reef separating us from them. Don't know if you can see their water spouts. It's just right there. But,
You can see them, their humps as they go over. They look massive.
yeah, so that was actually a pretty decent little paddle. There was a bit of wind that we were contending with, but right on the low tide, which we picked to sort of make our journey as safe as possible and our journey back as safe as possible. But now we're out here, we've got probably a few hours worth of time before we really need to get back, but we'll keep our eye on the weather. And yeah, it's super cool that we can come out here and they leave these moorings for us to tie up to and be able to snorkel in this pristine water here.
Yeah, look at the water colour.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
good.
A swimming pool, and it's so much warmer, this water,
Yeah.
than back at camp.
It's probably almost 5 degrees in that. It's a lot deeper here than what it looks.
Really?
Fishies! park.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my god. Oh, that's what I look like after Christmas lunch. Have a look at that, mate.
So good, and there are so many whales out there.
Well, the sun is setting on another perfect day here on the Ningaloo, but I think we're going to put a ribbon on this episode here, eh? We've still got a lot to come though for the Exmouth area.
We've still got 2 weeks here.
Still got another 2 weeks. We've got Mesa, we've got Kurrajong, some of the best campsites in the national park, and we've also got some of the best attractions in the national park that we still haven't visited yet, like Oyster Stacks, Turquoise Bay, Charles Knife Canyon, Shot Hole Gorge. We've got so much still left to do, and in the town of Exmouth itself as well, there's a lot to do in there. So
And we want to hire
we're gonna hire a boat. We're gonna wait for a day like this and we're gonna hire a boat.
Yeah.
That's all in the next episode though, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, stay tuned because the next one's gonna be
Even better.
just as good, if not even better.
Cheers, we love you, Exmouth.
Thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in once again, and yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.